Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. Another episode where I'm going to continue to bring value. If you're one that's tuning in live, I definitely want you to hashtag live, drop it in the comments, hashtag replay on the replay. Please, any questions throughout, drop them because we want to help as many people as possible. And don't just listen to what we're doing and talking about. I want you to actually apply it, implement it, try it. And if it is working for you, come back, drop a comment, say this and this, whatever you guys talked about, it worked. And that'll show us more proof. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like this, and share the hell out of this video because I know you're going to see and gain massive value. Let me bring on my next guest. We have Ryan Alexander. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How are you? Thanks for having me on here.
I'm doing fantastic. I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day. A lot of people say they don't have time to do what we're going to do, and I say that's complete horse shit. A lot of us can just make some time and then provide that value. But before we even get into our conversation, Ryan, who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Ryan Alexander, and I teach credit. As you can see on the screen, you can see on my shirt. I crashed and burned twice in my life, actually almost 3 times. Financially. And it started when I was in my early 20s. 9/11 had happened. I was working on commercial real estate. 9/11 happened and everything we were working on came to a screeching halt. Well, then I got into creating a startup, paid off all my debts, created a startup, and I was trying to get into the insurance business and I wasn't able to get my own insurance agency because my credit sucked. Didn't really think anything of it, but I thought this is stupid. I'm the top producer. I'm killing it. Like I have, no debt now, but my credit score still sucked. I was like, whatever. So I created a startup with some guys, and that went south too because we hired a company that promised they could deliver, and they couldn't. So crashed and burned again, and I was like, man, this credit thing's like holding me back from everything. And so I was slowly building back, and then one night, January 24th of 2018, I bought a course. It was an online course. I was watching Facebook, probably had a couple glasses of something, and I saw this young kid that had like $2 million of available credit, 200 credit cards. And I'm like, he's 20 years old. How's that possible? So of course I was like, I'll pay $500 to learn that. That moment I learned that A, there's a credit system that is not being taught to anybody. B, the system's actually really easy if you understand. And if you just implement it on a weekly basis, most people, I don't care if you're rich or you're broke. I have people they make a lot of money and they have shit credit. And I have a lot of people that are broke that have great credit. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's this whole system. Let me teach the algorithm to people. And I started doing it as a side hustle and hobby. That led to me traveling the world for free because of credit card rewards and sign-up bonuses. And I'm like, why the hell are more people not doing this? ITC was born. And here we are 6 years later, or however many years. It's 6 years later. And we're flourishing. We're doing great. We're teaching all over the country. We've got a couple thousand clients, and it's been awesome.
Man, that was just awesome. And we had some conversation beforehand what we're going to talk about. But man, what you just said, being an entrepreneur, trying something, buying a course, and actually going through it and implementing what you learn. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to buy a course, and I don't know, osmosis is going to have the information go into their head. And they don't actually go through it. I pick on real estate agents. They go to webinars and they say, I learned something. I said, did you implement it yet? No, I'm going to. You ask them 6 weeks later, still, I'm going to. What made you push to get it started? I know you said because you were floundering a little bit, a little hiccups here and there. I guess that was your drive. But what made you go through the course and actually implement?
So it's kind of this funny thing. When I was a kid, I remember this card being a part of experiences in life. Okay. I got the chills saying this. When I was down the shore and we were doing like wave runners, I remember I had family members that would pull out this card. My grandmother, we would go out to eat and she would pull out this card. My dad, we would be doing like crazy things or whatever, and like Smithsonian's or baseball or football games. And I remember seeing this card, and it was a symbol of 2 things. Number 1, good fun entertainment. And number 2 was like a status symbol of luxury. And so this was one of the cards that the kid had held up. And so what happened was I saw that and I was like, I need to be able to figure that out because that seems to be Willy Wonka's golden ticket to fun in life. And that was the whole reason. That's where this whole birth came from. And yeah, it's Sorry, I don't even know I forget what the question was. You took me down memory lane there. Like I just like totally went off on a tangent, but that's where it came from. It was like, I saw this and I said, how do I get to this world where you could go out to dinner and order whatever you wanted, not just what was ever on the happy hour special. You could go to, a theme park and say, I want the fast pass, right? Like, cause I don't want to stand in 2-hour line for one ride. It was just like a world of opportunity. And that's what I saw in credit. And whether you're trying to buy a house, start a business, or just travel the world, right? Like, how many people see the world through somebody else's Instagram and TikTok stories?
Yeah.
You cursed earlier. Am I allowed to curse now?
Hell yeah.
Fuck that. I want to see that shit with my own eyes. And how many people have friggin' higher fantasy football scores than they do FICO scores? That's what's wrong with American society today. Like you said, people are too fucking lazy. They'd rather sit back, whine, and complain about how their life sucks instead of taking an hour a day for 6 months and saying, I'm going to learn something to make my life better. It's not that complicated. And if you're willing to put in a little bit of time and you're willing to ask for help and stop letting your ego get in the way, there are people that are willing to help you. So that $500 course that everybody thought I was nuts, 3 years later, I'm traveling the world, sitting in airport lounges, drinking free champagne. And they're sitting there saying, oh, well, tell me about that card, because I'll tell you a funny story. Got this card right here, right? Now, this is actually the business card, but I got the platinum card. It was one of the first cards I got, actually. Stupidly, I would never let you do it now, but I got this card and I went to an airport lounge. I met my best friend in Las Vegas. My first time in Vegas, and we were telling him about the airport lounge. He goes, how'd you get in? And I said, well, this card right here. And he looked at me and goes, wait a minute, that's a $500 at the time. It was $550 as an annual fee credit card. He goes, only a moron would pay $550 to have a credit card. And he looked at me and says, you're stupid. And I looked at him and I said, you'll learn. I didn't even get defensive. I just straight up said, you'll learn. 6 months later, after 2 more trips, and he saw me sitting in airport lounges, posting videos and having photos with free champagne and food, while everybody else, I jokingly say this and I apologize, everybody else in Peasantville is paying $17 a drink and $22 for crab fries. I'm eating fine food, fine drinks, and it's all covered because of the annual fee on this card. And he said to me, okay, tell me about that stupid card. And I was like, I'm happy to. Now he has it, his wife has it, his friends have it, his coworkers have it. And I now travel the world teaching people, if you understand credit, and these are not for everybody. These are only for people who like to travel. Most people, they should only start out with and or have simple cashback cards or lower tier travel cards. This is what I teach people to get. I teach people why they should have certain cards, how to use certain cards, and I make sure that everybody implements my number one rule for credit, and that is PTZW. Pay to zero weekly. You already got my creative juices flowing, so I can go any which way you want this conversation to go. This is what I do every single day, is I teach people how to live a better, richer life without having to pay for it.
Right. And this is where I love having this kind of conversation, because this happens every day, like in Ryan's life, in my life, but we're actually recording it. People are going to see this type of stuff. And you don't get that normally, because people are like, it goes in one ear and out the other. They're lucky to have a video that they actually rewind and say, wait a minute, what cards did he talk about with travel? Oh, what cards to have this? So that's what I found is the power of being an entrepreneur, sharing, you're traveling, and you're also teaching. And that's the important thing, is you're always honing your skills, because you're always looking for other things to impress upon others, but also to help them. It costs you $500, but that $500 is like, instead of $50,000 or whatever college education is every semester now, $500 to have a career. It doesn't make sense, but people are so hesitant to look at what's online. And I've seen that for everything. I have a new website I developed, Network Marketing Insider, a whole thing about network marketing. People are like, oh, I don't like that. It's a pyramid scheme. I'm like, everything is a pyramid scheme. That's what blows my mind.
Marketing is an affiliate marketing plan instead of a network marketing pyramid scheme. Like, nobody thinks twice when they get a referral for sending people to Amazon, or they get a referral for sending somebody to an American Express card, or you get a referral for referring your friends to whatever. You don't think that's a pyramid scheme, but it is. And it's not a scheme. Yes. Right. If you're not willing to sell, then a pyramid scheme is going to hurt you or bother you. But like, at the end of the day, if I get paid for referring you to a store, what's wrong with that? As long as it's something you're going to use and something that you actually need, right? Like with credit, don't buy shit you don't need. right? Don't try to get a sign-up bonus and buy stupid stuff because you're like, I'm going to get this 75,000 point sign-up bonus. Yeah, but you're also going to pay 25% interest for the next 2 years because you can't afford all that stuff.
Right.
That's the weird part about it. But I agree with you 100%. I mean, like, if you knew how many people talking about, education, how many people have spent $100,000 on education, like general education, and they don't have the basic financial basics.
Yep.
They don't know them. They don't understand them. I mean, I have millionaires who have contacted me. I had a guy who sold his company for $220 million or $210 million. Couldn't get approved for a credit card. Couldn't get approved for a mortgage. It took me 4 months. And then he got approved for 2 big credit cards. And then he got his mortgage approval on the 5th month. And it was because I told him. And he looked at me and says, I got $200 million in the bank. And I said, nobody gives a fuck because your credit score sucks. And
Right.
he was mad. Like the people in his office was like, oh my God. I looked at him, I said, nobody cares. Like if we got all that money, then go buy cash for the house. Well, I don't want to. I want to finance it. Well, then you have to play by the rules. And I have people that make $35,000 a year that have 750, 800 credit scores. So that's the cool thing is people go to school and spend $100,000 to become a generalist on everything. They master nothing, especially basic finance, basic budget, and basic credit.
Show everybody what you showed me with that screenshot with someone that had 3 months ago was working with you in the 400s in the credit score, and you jumped them up in 3 months because they listened to you.
Now, disclaimer, this is not normal. I will swipe through and show you normal.
Right.
But you're going to be surprised. So this guy, this is Credit Karma. Now, the reason I use Credit Karma, I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what your, mortgage person says. I don't care what your financial advisor says. I don't care what your grandmother says. Credit Karma is the best, simplest, and easiest tool to educate you on a daily, weekly basis as to what's going on with your credit profile and how to understand it. Plus, it's free. This guy scored. He came to me in the beginning of July. This is July 7th. This was his score.
464.
And it come out, and I'm going to show this. This is not photoshopped. This is an actual screenshot. His score went from July. I mean, today's date's the 10th of September. So July, August, September. So you look, it's been 2 full months, and I said it was about 65 days. The guy went from a 464 to an 808. Now, if you want to see other cool things, like this was another person. This person came to me, and I told him, he's like, I don't know what to do. His score September 2nd was a 640. Okay? Just so you can, 640 to 729. That is an 89-point boost. Simply because I was able to look at the profile, understand the factor or the factors, and say, do this, and give it 45 days.
So those that are watching, if you know a real estate agent, a mortgage professional, even accountants and financial advisors, everyone deals with credit, guys. In the insurance world, if you have shit credit, you're not getting a good policy premium because
people don't know that your insurance rates are affected by your credit score.
Yeah. So not having a relationship, people say all the time, that's why I go by the connection machine, aka the insurance doctor. I say anyone can do insurance, but if I can help you grow your business by connecting you with someone like Ryan, or to a mortgage person that needs help from someone like Ryan, who can help his buyers out. But people don't think long term. They don't think, oh, I'm just a real estate agent. No, you're a marketing machine. You're a lead generation. So you want to help as many people in your circle out. And that's where it's powerful. Those that are watching, if you're in those segments, you got to reach out to Ryan. All of his information is in the description, but some people will do it. Some people won't. If they have questions, they can even drop them in the comments and we'll get back to you as well. But it's something that I pride myself. You said you went to a networking function. You're successful in my eyes. You've been doing this for a number of years. Why do you still go to networking functions?
So I'm very fortunately in a good position right now. I go to networking events for 2 reasons. First, to brand myself. Like I've been walking in random places. I wear this shirt every single day. Every single day, people see my brand.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to see something cool, what's it look like?
Credit card.
It's on my wall.
Yep.
Now that's the black card. The reason for the black card is because that's the most prestigious card with American Express. So like when I show these cards, for the average, for 99% of the world, the black card doesn't make any sense. For me, it's going to be a marketing expense. But these credit cards are fantastic. So like I go to networking events just to create brand awareness. But the second thing is also to give back. Like I actually said to the guys, I said, if you guys want me to host a free seminar for everybody, I will do that. One of the guys looks at me and goes, so you're going to teach all these people for free. Well, how are you going to make money? And I looked at him, I said, thankfully, I've built a business where I make enough money that I have time to give back to the community. And then when those people in the community see my free program, they want to come back to my paid program. And if they don't, then they gain free information. I feel good. They feel good. They weren't sold anything. But for those who want to learn more and learn on an elevated, escalated level, then you can join my programs. And that could either be group coaching or it could be one-on-one coaching. But that's up to you. If you want to watch, listen, and learn from me for free, those outlets are available to you. You want the best information, you get what you pay for.
That is so true. A lot of people are afraid to give value for free. They're like, oh, I have to give it out. No, the more Gary Vee talks about it all the time. Give. And you'll see people will pay for it. Yeah. I mean, you read books. I read books. I make sure I keep developing myself. But people think you get to a level and that's it. But it's also you're giving back. You're actually having more time to do what you want to do, to work with who you want to work with. And this is the value, is providing that value. And if you want to get involved with Ryan or myself, definitely reach out. Any final thoughts you can share with those that are watching and those that will be picking this up from someone recommended watch this video? Anything you could share on the credit, on the credit card front, on anything as far as improving their current financial situation?
Yeah. So you started off, we were talking about a couple things just outside of credit. And like we talked about other things like golf and like travel and, like wine or steak and stuff like that, favorites in my life. So the first thing I'm always going to say to people when it comes to credit and finances, first, always find out your why. So before, my why was just to not be a loser, right? I don't want to live in Loserville. But then my why was I got married and I had kids. And then my why became more than just golf, wine, and steak. It became, I want to give my kids a home. I want to give my kids a backyard that they can play in. And I want to give my kids experiences that, unfortunately, a lot of other people now, they look at the experiences my kids have and people get jealous, right? I just bought a new car. People get jealous. And it's like, I work 7 fucking days a week. That it must be nice lifestyle, I paid for it. I paid for it with time and sweat equity and learning. And now I'm teaching other people. So my advice to you is find out what you want in life. And if you really want it, ask yourself, be honest, look in the goddamn mirror and say, hey, are you really putting forth the effort to get it? Because my father taught me a long time ago. He said, Ryan, you can have anything in this world you want if you're willing to go earn it. And for some people, that doesn't come easily. Funny story. I almost failed out of high school. I did really good at math. I hated everything else. I was super bored. My brain didn't work that way, so it would shut off, and I wouldn't do anything. When it came to math, I flourished. When it came to sports, I flourished. When it came to physical activities, I will be blistered, bleeding, and worn out. I will cross that fucking finish line. Because when I want something badly enough, I will do whatever I have to do to get it. So for those of you watching this, I don't care if you're trying to just get your first credit card with $1,000 credit limit. I don't care if you're trying to get your first free flight. When I took my nephews on their first flight they've ever been on, and it was paid for with credit card points and rewards, that's an experience they'll never forget, and neither will I, because I didn't have to pay for it. We surprised we had just spent 10 days in Spain with my son who went to a Barcelona soccer camp. We surprised him with first-class ticket. He had no idea it was coming. You want to talk about an eye-opening experience where both he and his mom cried? These are things that you can earn by dedicating just a little bit of time in life. Go find out your why, and then go work every day towards it. 40 hours a week, 5 days a week working schedule, that's a luxury. That's a luxury. And there's no harm and shame. If you have to work 7 days a week, if you need to work 2 jobs, don't be embarrassed. Because many other people, they're fucking drowning and they'll never tell you. They'll post that shiny picture on Facebook or Instagram.
Yep.
But many of them are living a life of a lie. And I don't want to do it by myself. I want to bring as many people on this journey with me. So if you want to learn more, check me out on I Teach Credit. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever the case may be. TikTok's what works best for me. I go live every single morning and I teach thousands of people every single day. People go on my live. I love to help you guys. And if you want to set up a credit education seminar or webinar for all your followers, all your real estate, mortgage, or insurance professionals, I'll do a free webinar for anybody who wants to join. So if you want to help set that up, it'll be a 30-minute presentation followed by 30 minutes of Q&A. And if anybody else wants any more additional help after that, sure, you're going to pay for it. But at least I'm going to teach you things that will change your life and your family's life. I always say this, credit repair is giving you the fish. I'm going to sell you a fishing rod, show you how it works, and then teach you how to fish for the rest of your life. Which one do you want?
All his information is in the description. Reach out to Ryan. Loved it. This ending was fire, man. Stick around for 1 second. Everyone else, have yourself an amazing rest of your day.
Thanks, Shawn.